There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
This morning, I talked to the glorious return of Lil Hellfire, busting people's heads open with staplers. We should really do a pre-show so people can hear all this stuff. Charlie Esser, nothing, and I mean nothing, will stop him on this free comic book day, Cinco de Mayo. And I think he holds the record for seeing Avengers Infinity War. And I'm just weeping over it. Damn spring allergies. Capes and Lunatics starts right now. Hello and welcome. We're back. Capes and Lunatics, episode 51. Lilith, don't cry. It's okay.
Spring allergies too.
I swear.
They have allergies in Canada?
There's nothing but plants.
They don't import allergies. What are you talking about?
I just figured it'd be too cold. It's like,
It's actually not cold. They do.
No, you gotta go to Toronto.
Season.
You gotta go to Toronto where it's all concrete and ice. And that's where you avoid allergies, because nothing lives in Toronto except people.
I told you, people, it's Cinco de Mayo and Free Comic Book Day. Charlie Esser is all fired up.
This is the moment we've been training for. Can I just say, what an American holiday Cinco de Mayo is?
Cultural appropriation.
I don't even think it's cultural appropriation at this point. I think it's just, there's half off tequila today?
Yeah. The Mexican Americans don't mind it. They encourage it.
It's like St. Patrick's Day. It's like, fine. Fine. If this is the day you're gonna actually be concerned about us, wonderful.
Oh, we were talking about doing the live commentaries, and you were just talking about Office Space. We could create our own holiday and do a special live commentary. Happy St. Patrick Stewart's Day, and we do an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay. He's a sir. He's not a saint. No. Okay. Don't alter his honorific. He's a sir. He's not a saint.
Not yet.
Well, no, I don't know if he's ever going to be a saint. That takes a lot of spiritual introspection.
In our house of worship, he will be. Come on.
No, I'm just saying. Don't assume saint is subordinate to sir. Okay, that's my kind of point. It's like don't put him into a box that it's not his box to be in. He's a sir. He is Sir Patrick Stewart. That is a honorific of note and importance.
What? I'm recording.
He has contributed. Goodness, why is Tristan in your house?
No, it's her man, I guess. She's either about to murder a dog or her boyfriend. Holy crap.
Yeah, no, but that sounds like. Although I'll be honest with you, Tristan says that to me all the time.
What?
It's like, I'm recording.
Oh.
When he's doing a Toxic Gamer video and people are talking and he's doing his video and he's like, yo, Tristan, first off, you need an on-air light, Tristan. You need to tell us I'm recording. Everyone be quiet.
You're going to buy Tristan an on-air light?
Every time.
Nice.
Tristan needs an on-air light because he is always on air. He's always doing videos. As you know, if you're a fan of Toxic Gamer 13, and as he said last week, last week, but it got played last night. He's got about 100 videos on YouTube for Toxic Gamer 13. And he, honestly, when people talk during his videos, he's like, I'm going to be honest with you for a minute here, Lilith. He's a bit more professional than you because he just ignores it and he yells at us after he's done. He's like, guys, I was recording. And I tell him, you have to announce that you're recording beforehand. And he's gotten better about it. Now he says, I'm going to record now, guys. Everyone be quiet.
Schedule every week. And that was just uncalled for. So anyway.
I know. Well, you expect better from adults. My thing I've learned as being a parent, don't. that the children are just larger adults and adults are just bigger children. You know,
True.
You
I
know?
know that from experience.
So you gotta be explicit, not implicit, like Avengers was with whether or not Loki got that Mind Stone from Thanos. You got to be explicit, but when you're implicit, it changes the entire conversation.
Charlie, she just slapped.
I'm a very direct person. Have you met me?
Charlie, she just slapped one man. Don't make her slap another.
She can't slap me. She's in Canada. You can't slap through the internet.
She's
Hey, tell him I'll show up on your doorstep unannounced.
I'm still shaking.
I'm just saying, until Hank Pym creates that method to traverse the quantum realm for physical objects next month, you know, because that's the whole thing, is that traversing the quantum realm, which is how, of course, the pager works to reach Captain Marvel from the 90s.
Hey, I was just having this conversation.
I know, you haven't seen these movies, so you have no idea. Spoilers, Lilith, spoilers.
No, I read. I know.
Yeah.
I watched the YouTube clips. It's fine.
Biggest film ever.
Biggest ever.
Yeah, dang, you know, and not for nothing, one weekend to trounce. See that? So for all you DC nerds who say, "What does all the Marvel fanboys hate us DC guys?" It's like, this is why. Because the third Avengers in a weekend dunked on your entire gross. And you had Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman.
But we also had the Snyder effect, so that's null and void.
Well, no, you can't blame whoever. Not for nothing, you say, "Oh, well," because Snyder. It's like, who hired Snyder? I didn't hire Snyder. I wasn't in that meeting. You know, the people that hired these people are the people making these films. And the people making these films decided that, oh, we have enough just in Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. The characters who, with the exception of Batman, are literal superhero names. I mean, like the Wonder Woman, the Superman, the beings that exist in actual like literature unrelated to comic books.
At Charlie S. or on Twitter.
You know, I'm just saying, it's like these are cultural touchstones, and you just, you know, whatever. Put Snyder in charge; he'll do a fine job. We'll check back later. But that's why, because if you build a story, they will come. I don't know, no one's going to disagree with me on this, but
it's just like, okay, why are you kicking somebody when they're down, Charlie? Like,
because it is particularly painful, and sometimes you want to. It's like
Charlie's being a bully today, guys. Get him at Esser, at Charlie Esser.
Lilith, have your dogs ever made a mess on the floor? And you
No.
take your dog,
No, the boyfriend maybe, but
the,
not the
the
dog.
mess they made, and you go, no. That's what I'm doing to DC right now. I'm saying no. You see this mess?
So
this
you're
is the mess you made. This
so
is
you're-
wrong.
So you're claiming Zack Snyder left the steaming pile of Justice League on the floor of fandom?
He certainly did. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that, I'm not even saying it's a steaming pile. I'm just saying you can do
It's
better.
not even hot.
It's the wet dog poo.
It's a cold
okay?
duty.
From the
I'm
70s.
I'm saying you can do better. You can do better. I'm saying Zack Snyder can do better. Because I'm not
No, I
even
don't
saying
think
Zack
so.
Snyder's a
I've
bad
seen
director. I'm
his
saying
total
he
body
could
of
have done
work,
better.
and he can't do better.
Okay.
No, it's true. Like, he needs somebody to temper him, and they just didn't. And it is what it is.
So he's basically like Josh Trank, you know? It's just
Oh.
you need that guy
And
in the
he
suit.
will not divert from it. And it is what it is. Every director has their specific thing, and superheroes are obviously not Zack Snyder's thing.
Yeah.
Except for Watchmen, and Watchmen has its own issues. I have my own issues with
Watchmen,
that. But
all anyone ever
reasonable.
talks about Watchmen is the montage scene. I mean, I love Watchmen. I love that film. That's a good film. I liked a lot of
But it has some glaring issues and deviations.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously. Well, everything is gonna. I mean, not for nothing. If there's one thing Infinity War spoilers has taught us is that if you deviate right, nobody cares.
Yeah.
This is what Lou Ferrigno taught us in the 80s Hulk, is that no one cares that it's not the Hulk story if it's a good story. If the thematic works and it's a good idea, you know, fudge the story, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. That's an alternate universe. That's fine. But if it's a good story, well told, everyone loves it. You don't have to. Nerds love it. You don't have to be exact on the story if it's a good story, because even nerds will say, "Oh no, that was a good story," you know. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, all of my 1970s and 80s upbringing with the wonder that was the Marvel in that era has taught me that don't get obsessed about the nuances of the nerdery. Get obsessed with whether or not they're telling you a good story. Because if it's a good story, it lasts regardless of what other, you know, you may have come for a character, but you're staying for the story. If I'm coming for the character and I'm staying for the character, that's a bad movie. You need a good story to make watching that character worthwhile. As I learned when I stopped buying the last Hellcat run, because I love Hellcat. And I came for Hellcat. But at a certain point, I'm like, I'm just staying because Hellcat's in it. I'm not here for the story you're telling, because it's not a good story.
Thanks.
That's my opinion. What's yours?
But well, we talked about the DC movie universe. Is DC just shooting themselves in the foot anymore?
Of course they are.
I mean, let's you know, the digital issue or the no digital issues.
Oh yes.
But I mean, is that a move just
Okay.
because you know they've pushed more stuff back? They've gone from more books being twice a month to once a month now, which has raised the price from $2.99 to $3.99. And those were the books that were getting the digital code were the $3.99 books. But if you have $3.99 books now, then you're gonna have to give away more codes. And like we said, you got to pay for that Bendis.
Yeah. I mean, DC Nation should have been free, but instead they did a quarter. I'm just saying. I really do feel like
they should have just saved it for free.
Something was eating the budget. Where
it was this week. It should have just been free comic book day. Their free comic book day issue.
But you know they don't do new content. Like I don't think they've ever done new content for free comic book day.
Why? They had free content. This issue had 3 stories, right? Like days before free comic book day. Just put it out there.
They just can't do it. They're penny squinching.
Well, you know, but it's, you know, and it's the Zack Snyder problem. It is the statement of, oh, we have this product. People will pay regardless. Why should we invest in a story? You know, and that's, I mean, you know, it's the Avis. It's Avis.
Goodwill with your audience.
We try harder. You know, those who remember, for those who know the history of advertising, the reason why Avis came up with the "We Try Harder" mantra
that sounds terrible.
I know, but it worked. Avis was number 2 in every quality that you could come to assess a car rental service. They were number 2 in quality. They were number 2 in service. They were number 2 in number of cars. They were good, but they were always number 2. And when they went to the advertising agency and they said, well, here's our numbers, what can you help us with? And the advertising said, well, you're always number 2. You know what that means? You try harder. And so Avis came up with this advertising slogan, which is Avis, we try harder. And they did that, which is this great thing where instead of having O.J. Simpson run through a terminal, they had some fat guy run through a terminal because you're a fat guy and you're running through the terminal to get your car. And when you got there and the guy's like, oh no, here's your keys, sir. We're Avis. We try harder because we know how hard it is to struggle. And DC, you know, DC with their big Warners, you got to remember, DC was Warners for years before Marvel got Disney. You know,
and that's been a problem.
Well, exactly, because it's like they always had.
They hitched their star to the wrong cart, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
And it turned around about the mid '80s. That's when Warner's really started.
You know, the problem is Warner's is a trust fund, baby.
It is.
You know, they got the money, which
it's
is
old Hollywood glamour.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because when you actually look at the purchasing, it's like DC didn't, Warner's didn't buy DC. DC bought Warner's because DC was bought by Kenny Parking, which owned a lot of land in New York City because they owned parking garages, and they bought DC and they expanded out. And after they bought DC, that's when they bought Warner's. I shouldn't be so hard on Warner's because, you know, AOL is trying to buy Time Warner, and I'm well, not AOL, AT&T, who's not going to be AT&T, AOL, Time Warner. Although AOL's been moved off of the...
I was going to say, poor AOL. Redheaded stepchild.
It's coming back, man. You watch.
They got rid of the chat service. So, no, they're not making a comeback. Even Yahoo still has its IM service. Yahoo!
All I'm saying is AOL, it's a brand name that will now be owned by AOL Time Warner, AT&T Time Warner. And they're going to bring that back. They're going to bring that back, man. And I'm not going to be...
not. Only people's grandparents use AOL anymore, Charlie. It is not hip to be square. When it comes to email addresses, it is not hip to be square because a lot of places like discuss and you have an AOL or Yahoo account, you sign up for Gmail or MSN or something like that. So no. Okay.
All I'm gonna say is that as an HR professional, I've never cared where your AOL came from or where your email came from because most likely I got it from Indeed anyway. And I've got your anonymized Indeed email account, which is like 6 letters, half your name, and 4 numbers and a space bar. So it's like honestly, I think the worry about the cachet of AOL has greatly fallen down, unless you're putting AOL on your masthead. But usually that should actually be your name. You know, and that.
I'm just talking about AOL in general across the internet. They have really poor security protocols. It's why a lot of hackers and a lot of people have AOL.com domain blocked actually because in certain things when you deal in certain sectors.
Well, like I said, nowadays you're probably applying through either Indeed or Craigslist. So Craigslist, remember Craigslist, kids?
Craigslist is dead. They got rid of the personals. I get why they did it. But it's dead. That was the only thing people went to Craigslist for. That and free couches.
I got my TV off Craigslist, young lady. I will say Craigslist is still a great place for buying useless stuff you don't need. Or in my case, a very useful thing I actually needed. No, I don't go to eBay. It's, eBay is freaking devil auctions. I don't want to
buy it now. It's like, come on, Charlie.
First off, that is such a cop-out because that makes me think that, no, you can just buy it now and not have to deal with an auction. It's like, if I'm going to haggle, I want to haggle with you as a seller. I don't want to be haggling in the
eBay expert, okay? I all my tech stuff comes from China. Fight me, nerds. I'll wait the 2 weeks to get it cheaper. But yeah, eBay is a godsend. You just don't know what you're missing out on. Much like Amazon, you finally come around to the Amazon. Go check back in on eBay. It's changed in a long time. Like the last 5 years has been a great explosion of eBay.
I remember when eBay came into existence. And
me too. I am old enough to remember that.
I'm still not impressed.
I was there when it was born. I smacked it on the butt. I thought we were ranting on DC. What the hell happened?
You gotta stop kicking the horse when it's down. But I do understand why they stopped doing the digital codes. Basically giving away,
They didn't learn Marvel's lesson. Remember, Marvel stopped that for a while.
I know.
Well, you have to adjust for what your demographic is. So there's probably reasons behind the scenes of why they did it. Well, and they'll see, and either it works or it doesn't, and then they readjust. Like Marvel had to readjust.
Although
they didn't really readjust.
The difference is that Marvel actually gave the digital code as a premium because they were $4.99 across the board.
$3.99.
$3.99 across the. Well, give it a minute, Phil.
Yeah, 2020. That's about the time for the inflation.
You know, but they were already charging this price, and they said, you know what, we're going to give you something for that money we're charging, because we know we need to make this money to make comic books valuable. We know that comic books are expensive to make, but people want to buy them. So let's think, how can we give premium cheaply for the price that we want to charge? And so Marvel's like, well, let's give them digital codes. Let's give them this, let's give them that. Let's not have so many ads. Archie's, sorry. Let's not have so many ads in our books. Let's actually sell a book and sell content, because we're a content producer. That should be our main product.
Well, Archie's been around for a long time, and their new lines are doing fantastic. So apparently the market that they're marketing to don't care about the ads. Most of the ads that I've seen are for other Archie stuff. So,
well, yeah, I mean, truth be told, you're right on that, Lilith. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. I pick on the Archies because I love them. I actually really have gained a real love of the Archies.
Did you ever get Vampironica? Did it ever come in?
Yet. I'm going to get issue 2, I'm
Did
sure.
Did it come from China?
You know what, Lilith, you've been talking it up. It got sold out. So when I got there, and I was expecting it to be there, but I'm sure I'm going to get issue 2, because they know I'm on hold for Vampironica. I think they probably put Vampironica on my pull list, even though I'm haven't been to the comic book store until today. So yeah, I'm sure, because issue 2 came out this week, right?
Did it?
I think so.
Let me check my. I get that digitally, so I'd have to check.
See, but this is the thing, and you know what? Not for nothing. This is the thing. I'm more inclined to go digital for a lot of these books because it's just more convenient than having to go to the store.
Oh, yes.
What Marvel is doing, what Marvel always does, is they actually think about the holistic environment of their business model rather than looking for the cash grab. They'll grab the cash, don't get them wrong, but they do understand that you can only grab so much cash. You can only, as my mechanic once said, you can shear a sheep all day. You can only slaughter it once. You know, and so the idea is that, you know, you can do these cash grabs, but you have to cash grab holistically. You have to cash grab within the idea that I want this person to come back so I can get their cash again tomorrow. I want them to keep on coming back. And that is why Marvel doesn't want to just make a situation where you only buy digital or you only buy hard copy, because they know they actually make money off of those hard copy sales to those brick and mortar stores where people are coming in to buy the toys and the t-shirts and all the other things. Exactly. Because you're going to go in and honestly, vinyl pop would not be a thing without comic book stores.
It's true.
Let's be honest here. If I wasn't there and there wasn't vinyl pops up on the wall, that's an entire industry that only exists because brick and mortar stores exist.
Although, it started that way. Now it's just ridiculous.
Well, yeah, now it's got a following, and so now it could probably exist online. But let's be honest.
At the starting point, no, I didn't even know what a vinyl pop was. So it showed up. I was just like, why is everybody this Funko crap everybody's talking about?
All of these 10-cent plastic toys, you know, and there's 10-cent plastic toys all over the place that are sold for $5. You know, and this is a business model that, in that environment, you can either as in all environmentalism, you can either take, as Thanos says we will do, or you can be like Marvel and say, no, we have to have an understanding of the limitations of what we're taking and build a society that can be sustainable. That's what Disney understands, is that because Disney's had their hard times too. They've taken on that cash grab, and then they said no. They're like an alcoholic.
Yeah, Disney Renaissance too, with those straight to VHS movies, Pocahontas 2. Why I oughta. Oh, Cinderella 2, 3, and 4.
You know, I've never watched any. I'm not a Disney princess follower. I'll be honest with you, Lilith. It's a nerd blind.
It's what built the resurgence of the Renaissance, though. You have to give it that.
Yes, it did.
With the exception of Aladdin, because that's more the boys. Princess Jasmine doesn't matter.
I guess, you know. Is she really a princess? Because her father's a sultan, not a king. Does she?
So whatever that equivalent is.
What is the daughter of a sultan's title? I mean, you know, or even a sultan.
Nothing. I don't think they get to inherit the throne, actually, now that I think about that.
Yeah.
I think they're traded around as a commodity, much like princesses in any other.
Yeah, honestly, it's like I'm not sure that princesses had much cachet prior to being written about in the story. That is, you know, misogyny.
Patriarchy. You know.
Patriarchy. That's the word I was looking for. Not misogyny.
Just fun things.
Patriarchy isn't inherently misogynistic. It just enables misogyny very well. You know,
poor Phil. So was anything good on TV, comic book related?
I'm afraid to say I'll shoot it down.
Did anyone see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week?
I didn't finish it yet. I started watching it last night.
I actually stayed up for the whole time.
Glenn Talbot is Graviton.
Glenn Talbot is fantastic as Graviton. Glenn Talbot is exactly who you want to have unlimited power in a fictional story.
Adrian Pasdar is Graviton.
Yes, he is fantastic.
Oh,
well, I mean,
with the beard and everything.
He does great.
Yes,
he does great as an actor. As a
he bought the
character,
suit last night. Yeah,
Glenn Talbot getting shot in the head and having that, you know, closed head trauma.
Dude, he is so typecast. Poor thing.
What, was there another film where he got shot in the head?
I think so.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. All I know about Adrian Pasdar is that he's done a lot of voiceover work for Marvel.
I think he got shot in the head on Heroes.
Did he?
I forget how he died. No, Skylar did something to him. But no, he always dies these weird.
Well, Skylar actually always takes apart your brain. So yeah, so for neurological trauma, probably if Skylar's involved.
But
I really liked Heroes, by the way. I'm really sad it never caught on.
I saw he even pulled a General
Writer's strike.
He even pulled a General Zod. He's like, Neil.
Yeah, Neil before Talbot.
He always plays an SOB. Like, I just poor Adrian Pasdar.
Well, you know what? Don't say poor Adrian Pasdar. He got paid for the job.
Oh, he's making money.
It's like
he's like
not Gene Hackman.
He's like Disney's Golden Child. I don't know why he's not doing it anymore, but for a while on those Disney Marvel Avengers cartoons, he was Tony Stark for a while. He was voicing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, Adrian Pasdar, he does a lot of voiceover work.
Told you
he's like the Patrick Warburton you don't recognize.
Oh.
You know, because you know he's the. No, I was gonna say he's a better actor, but he's not a better actor. No, Patrick Warburton is an actor.
Patrick Warburton leans into it. He knows exactly what people came for, and he gives it to him right on the chin.
Patrick Warburton is awesome in what he does, and that's why that's why when he showed up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2 weeks ago. I was like, is there a series of unfortunate events that doesn't have Patrick Warburton? Because it's just so perfect. He really is great at what he does. And
that's Hollywood calling.
Not even. I wish. That's
Careful. There is playback on this video.
No, it's fine. It's someone that needs to be picked up at 7, and she's calling me now because I don't know. I don't know what the storyline is. She probably wants to make sure that the ride's coming, but at a certain point, it's like, you know what?
I'm like 7 a.m. because it's 6.
I didn't call you back for a reason. Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
7 p.m., not 7 a.m. No, it was very good. It was great. First off, it is why we love Phil Coulson. Because it is him negotiating a world of amazingly superpowered people and holding his own. And I loved their Kree. Oh my gosh, the Kree is just the way they played the Kree character in this as this guy who is happy to sell out the guy next to him, and you can so see it because he's like, well, clearly, so spoilers if you haven't watched the last episode yet. Adrian Pasteur as Graviton goes to the confederacy of alien races that have built their little cabal to do whatever. They had made deals with Hydra over the years, and Adrian Pasteur as Graviton, he's got you see, I'm actually superhumanly powered, like in a crazy way now. I'm basically Superman, so you don't get to just roll over us like we're a bunch of cavemen and you've got a lighter, you know. Because not for nothing, it's very much made clear in this that basically aliens are coming to Earth and going, ooh, look, I have the eternal flame. Ooh, look how magical I am. Worship us. And Agent Pasteur's character of Talbot as Graviton is like, no, we actually understand how things work now. We actually aren't the hobos you think we are. And at this point, I'm actually really crazy superpowered. And the Kree, who immediately realizes, oh, I see that the power dynamic shifted, turns to the green guy because they have a requisite green guy played by a white guy. And he says, well, clearly Fred is the wisest of us all. You know, as to who is the leader of the Confederacy, well, we all agree he is the wisest. So, of course, Talbot does I'm Crushing Your Head on him. Those of you who remember I'm Crushing Your Head from Kids in the Hall. And basically, takes over the Confederacy because he can now. And it's just, I mean, honestly, there's so many great things going on with Agents of Shield. They call out Thanos like 3 times in the episode, which is great. Because they say, you do realize Thanos is attacking your planet right now. And because Thanos is attacking your planet, you need the Confederacy. And Talbot's like, no, I'm Graviton. I don't actually have to worry about Thanos because I'll actually go for the head, unlike Thor. Spoilers. And that is what we're getting here is he's in this spot. Of course, the only problem is, and this is what I'll say about Marvel, at least its television properties, they understand addiction. And if you want a real understanding of Marvel, understand the concept of addiction. Because from Jessica Jones drinking that beer on the subway in Defenders to Adrian Pasteur saying, I'm the most powerful man in the world, how can I get more powerful? That is addiction in a nutshell. It's like, I can't walk away from any of this, and the very thought that I might be able to get higher than I am is way more important than anything else in my life. And that's just, it's a beautiful story to tell. Well, beautifully tragic. So that was my thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I also watched Gotham, which was good.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? What is Gotham?
Oh, it's a great little show. It's basically like the 1966 Batman series, but more dark and gritty and set before Batman.
Like dark and gritty in a facetious way, or like?
Well, everything's facetious in the 1966 Batman.
Well, Jerome's dead, and it seems his twin brother.
He's got a twin brother. Let me guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut the front door.
And he in this episode he had a blonde female assistant too. So
it was fantastic.
And it's not Stabby Babs.
No,
I think it's supposed to be a Harley Quinn stand.
Yeah, it's
no. I'm just saying it's not Stabby Babs.
No. Stabby Babs. We all love. I love Stabby Babs more than most people. I'm gonna be honest with you, but there's only so much you can do with her. Honestly, right now, I think she's supposed to be Talia's mom. If we're gonna really play it all out with the way they played the whole thing, because there's definitely a whole thing between
Damien's grandmother.
Yeah,
oh my God! Not right. Not for nothing. No Man's Land coming with nuclear bombs. Not nuclear, but like bombs that blow up.
Those
don't
power
have
sources. Yeah.
The power sources. They're gonna go. But you know what I like about it is they actually explain how actually make Joker a genius when they're already established a carnival upbringing for him. Basically, like he was just some poor man's Dick Grayson.
Tread lightly, Esther.
Intentional. Oh, apparently Jason Todd is the Robin in Teen Titans.
What? No. Oh, the live action
episodes called Jason Todd. One of the episodes is called Jason Todd.
Yeah, but everyone's assuming. No, they've confirmed it's Dick Grayson as Robin when it starts, but eventually there's an episode called Jason Todd, so there's assuming eventually Dick Grayson's going to become Nightwing, and then maybe you bring in Jason Todd as like the next Robin.
No. Don't you think that maybe Jason Todd was actually like the first Robin, and Dick Grayson is just a hanger-on to the legacy of Jason Todd?
They know better than to do that. I mean,
Lilith, fly down there and beat him.
I mean, no, Jason Todd has his fans. I mean, let's be honest, he died by a thin margin on that vote. But and when he died, his legacy, as characters do, grew. His legend grew, and that's why he has Red Hood and Outlaws. And now that's a TV show I'd rather see. I'm just saying.
What, rather than that Titans one?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, if we're getting a spinoff, I don't want Dove and Hawk. Nah, give me Red Hood and Outlaws.
I would love a Red Hood and Outlaws series. I enjoyed that book. That was nice, especially if we get Bizarro. Bizarro needs his own series.
Oh, what else was I gonna? I was gonna say something about Gotham, and I forget now.
Anyway, so but it was really good, and one of them. I love the way that they do rhyme with classic Batman bits, like Jeremiah. Spoilers. After it gets revealed that he is actually been Jokerized, wiping the face paint off and revealing the white. Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, the way I'm forgetting that actor, the way that he really has taken all the Jokers that came before him and taken the best parts, and I'm going to say it right to your face, everybody, not so much from Heath Ledger. Thank you very much.
Hopefully nothing from Leto either, though.
No, there's not really much to take from Leto. Everything from Leto you can get from Macaulay Culkin. That's what we can say about Leto's Joker. We all know Leto played it as Macaulay Culkin's character from Home Alone grown up.
I never saw Suicide Squad, so I wasn't going to waste my money on that. Still haven't
You
seen
don't
it.
have to at this point, Lilith. I mean, if you have any streaming service, it's pretty much free now.
I was gonna say.
I don't care. I don't have the time to waste. I was never interested in that movie at all.
Will Smith is nice in it, and they do a nice Harley Quinn.
Mhm.
I like Margot Robbie, but I don't like her Harley.
I like their killer, and their Amanda Waller is worth watching. She's a good Amanda Waller.
Still not gonna do it. Sorry.
That's fine.
Instead of doing Suicide Squad, Will Smith should have done Hancock 2. Damn it! And I'm still bitter.
That
still
might
bitter
fall
about
apart at
Hancock
the
2.
end. Come on.
Lilith, we're all waiting for Hancock 2. I don't think Hancock 2 is coming anytime soon. I liked Hancock. I thought it was a good film. I liked the mythology they created with it.
Exactly.
How the beings have to stay apart, but they and it's so weird but that's magic for you. It's like, oh, well, we can be together, but then we lose our powers.
Well, so you can grow old and
so we can have a life, because life actually has meaning. And it's like, what an insane but actually practical concept, at least as created by human beings who have a finite lifespan anyway and have to justify it however we can.
Oh, I know.
It's good to die eventually because we find love and have families, and that's a good thing, instead of living forever and just going from
and going mad with power. Yeah.
I know what I was wanted to say about Gotham. Charlie, did you get like the vibes where Bruce Wayne was working with Jeremiah on those power sources that he ended up using as bombs? Like, they were working together for a while. Did you get like a young Clark Kent, Lex Luthor relationship there?
Well, here's what I'll say. It's different because, as Jeremiah said at the end, you're my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it.
So you know he's the villain. Come on.
Well, because the point is it reframes their relationship not from antagonists, but to two people trying to build things. Only one of them is aware that they're building it. So that basically the idea that they're presenting in Gotham right now is that the Joker and Batman, that the Joker is basically the architect of everything that happens. And his whole goal is to sort of get this, relatively stable young man to please just put on a costume so we can have our fun and have our games and make Gotham great again.
Put on your fancy clothes, Bruce. I want to dance.
Exactly. That is what that essentially you have reframed in Gotham. You have reframed by making, and for the record, by making Joker a flat out genius at the start of it. By making that character this brilliant mind, you've essentially established the idea that Joker is the one telling this story. And he is making Bruce be what he needs him to be in the story because they're best friends, and we're working together to make what Gotham is going to become. And if we have to go through a no man's land to get there, we're gonna.
No Man's Land is a great story, but I don't know about TV adaptation. I'm just saying. But Gotham does its own thing in its weird, wacky way, and somebody's watching it. It's still on.
I mean, they're gonna blow up the city. And then we're going to have whatever goes on. And then you're going to have the chaos afterwards. And for what it's worth, I love Penguin and Grundy together. Yeah. I love that they've actually kind of really organically made that mob boss Grundy character a thing.
Yeah, but how do you feel about Butch having his brain back, though?
Well, like I said, that's the thing, is the idea of Grundy as... Because you remember they did What If Grundy Was Smart? A few years back. And they actually have him being this super powerful crime lord character because Grundy comes back different every time. And one of the times, hey, maybe he comes back smart. And so they're doing this idea of Grundy character, and they may put him back to being dumb Grundy by the end of it. They may put the toy back in the box eventually, but it's neat to see how that evolves and plays out. And liking Penguin and Grundy working together, I think they make a great team. I love what they've done with Enigma and Lee. I love the fact that they've...
I haven't watched Gotham in a long time. So.
Oh, well, so Enigma has basically... what they're doing is they're basically...
He's basically in love with Lee.
Well, what they're doing... So, remember when Doc Samson and the Ringmaster sort of created Professor Hulk? Because they couldn't actually fix the mental illness of Bruce Banner, but they said, you know what, let's just find the least destructive personality in him and make that the dominant personality.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Netflix short because we've introduced Tybalt. Tybalt's in the MCU now. And he's a hypnotist, so
maybe
him.
Maybe that's where they're going to go by the end of the next Avengers movie, a Smart Hulk.
Well, my hope is that we're going to get that Marvel short. That's the Marvel short with the guy from Modern Family and the guy from and I actually know their names. I'm forgetting them right now, but they get those two actors together with Mark Ruffalo, and they actually do create a Professor Hulk for Avengers 2. Electric Boogaloo. Avengers 4, actually. Electric Boogaloo. Something.
Electric Ruffalo?
Electric Ruffalo. But anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, so what they're doing with Enigma is they've merged his personality. So it's not Ed.
It's not good Ed or evil Ed.
It's not one guy who wants to be a villain, and he's not. I'm really Enigma as a character, as a banner in the mirror, I think is done. He may show up here and again, but it's the Riddler, and he's in love with Lee, just like Ed was, because you know what? Fudge it. We're gonna work with it, and I like it. I like what they've done. It's actually working out nicely.
Yes, and I know Lilith is gonna yell at me, and I know no one watched it, but did anyone watch Flash this week?
Nope.
I did actually. Well, I want to know what's going on for the finale.
Yeah.
I mean, they butchered the Thinker, unfortunately.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Now it seems like him and the wife are at odds. Is she gonna
Well,
fight?
you always saw that coming.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord! I would pay so much just to that in the season finale if she defeats him and says, "Fight me, nerd." But I
also didn't like. Okay, so Arrow gave their villain a backstory, and then Flash gave their villain a backstory.
Oh yeah, they did the flashbacks this week about him and the wife's relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Charlie the Thinker thinks technology is evil and destroying.
But he's
world.
building the most technologically advanced thing to accomplish his goal.
He's building like 5 satellites that are gonna I guess bring down
mind wipe everybody.
IQ just enough where they can't use technology. I don't.
No, he's gonna make them simpletons, and he's gonna rule over them with an iron.
Well,
fist.
yeah, like what's happened to Harry. Harry tried to use a thinking cap to outthink him, and now he's losing his.
Well, he used the dark matter, and I'm sure there was a way to activate the thinking cap without the dark matter. But the Thinker put that idea into them because he needed the dark matter, because he stole the dark matter that machine generated. So I don't know. They tried too hard with the Thinker.
He's created a dumb ray. And he's going to dumb ray everybody so they can rule.
Exactly.
He's going to rule
because no one is more controllable than a mass of dumb people. Because dumb people never revolt. They never throw caution to the wind to overthrow anyone in charge. They are just complacent and docile. I don't.
Yeah, he doesn't understand emotion anymore. So exactly.
All I'm saying is, I don't think he thought this plan through.
No.
I think they jumped the shark with the Thinker when they had him. Oh, I can calculate outcomes from different multiple Earths now. I expected Siren to come. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Siren X, Black Siren from Earth X. Oh.
It's not as bad as Arrow season 4, but it's getting there.
Don't you dare.
It's getting there.
So did you see the end that it is confirmed that Mystery Girl has super speed? So
she's got lightning that's 2 colors, purple and yellow.
So it is Barry's and
it's
Iris'
XS.
daughter.
It is XS. It is not Dawn Allen, dude.
Yeah.
Although she did back away from Iris, so Iris might be pregnant, bro.
Well, yeah, and because I even saw theories online, they're like, "Oh, what if it's Joe and Cecile's baby?" I'm like, then how does she have super speed?
Joe loves the Flash. I mean, the Flash loves Joe. He's got 2 sons, technically.
Oh, good lord!
The lightning chose Joe. That's the plot twist.
Not for nothing. Isn't super speed like the most common power in this universe?
I don't know.
In the Flash universe?
Well, let me put it this way: how many people have super speed? How many people have any other superpower that has been established in this universe? It's like Monster of the Week, super speed. Everybody gets super speed. It's like an Oprah show.
It's like Kevin Smith said. It's like Kevin Smith said. Things get solved every week because the boy runs fast.
Well, yeah, but what my point is that apparently, for whatever else you want to say, it's like you can't say, "Oh, well, that person has super speed, so they must be related to that person," because lots of people clearly have super speed. Super speed seems to be like the most common power. So it's like it's like when you say, well, the Quicksilver ran fast and the Wizard ran fast. So clearly the Wizard must be the father of Quicksilver. No, it's Magneto. No, it's 2 random other people like Tony Stark's father.
Don't get me started. I hate that.
Quicksilver didn't run fast enough.
How dare you?
He'll be back. He'll be back. He's done in the comic. Well, no. Actually, no. In the comics now, he tapped into the Speed Force.
He's getting his own series.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the DC universe. You watch. When Quicksilver comes back, they've got like, oh, he tapped into this force of velocity, and the force of velocity has sent him to this other world where there are these characters like Hyperion and Power Princess.
Run, Pietro, run!
God.
No, it was as soon as she like disappeared to that, like Did he just disappear into the Speed Force? Did Marvel really just say, we're just going to steal that from you, DC? You guys were, I mean, I know you're actually using it constantly. Let us show you how you use the Speed Force interestingly, I guess is what Marvel wanted to say there. Because it's DC.
Quicksilver's not an interesting character, period. But whatever.
Who among us really is interesting? Tony Stark isn't that interesting, arguably.
He's interesting in the fact that he's the captain of bad life choice.
That's at Charlie.
He's an alcoholic. He's basically me, but with money. Except he's all, oh, I don't drink anymore. I'm drinking this Shirley Temple at the Avengers meeting. It's like, really, you're going to drink a Shirley Temple? You're going to drink sugar, just this sugar drink, just to make it look like you're drinking an alcoholic beverage? Instead of just saying, I'll have a glass of water. Or I'll have a glass of coffee. I'll have a coffee. I will have a perfectly...
You don't trade one addiction for another. Actually, that's exactly how you get rid of an addiction.
No, that is exactly...
It's a positive addiction.
Thank you. If you've ever been to an AA meeting, lots
cigarettes
of coffee.
Yeah, I was
gonna say, don't they say, yeah, if you're, if you're drinking, smoke cigarettes or eat or something.
Well, I don't smoke, so... I'm allergic to nicotine. It kills me. Oh, it makes me so sick.
Although I have heard a rumor that Lilith is addicted to smoothies now.
I am. I'm trying to fix my gut flora, so I have to stay away from gluten, processed sugar, and a lot of other things. Dairy. It's a struggle.
The way I'm going to tell you how to fix your flora, and technically it's fauna, not flora. If I can be. Because unless you're photosynthesizing in it, it's not flora. Flora is photosynthesis. Fauna, but as to your digestive fauna, you should actually eat yogurt.
Yeah, I'm not eating dairy yogurt. I'm eating vegan yogurt, which is bacterial cultures by itself. Yeah, and probiotics. Yeah.
I recently realized that probiotics is the opposite of antibiotics. And that never struck me until I was like, oh, wait, that's why they're called probiotics, because they increase bacterial cultures in your body as opposed to decreasing.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's like just painfully obvious what it is. But I never realized what a probiotic was until recently. It's like, because I was actually watching some commercial for probiotic ointment for your feet or something, as they have on late night TV, which I watch a lot of.
Charlie could fix a lot in this world, but damn, does beer taste good?
It does. Phil, you have no idea. You know what?
I've tasted beer before. Come on.
You know what, Phil? Let me put it to you this way. That may be the only thing keeping me from supervillainy.
Okay, honest.
If someone had introduced Lex Luthor to beer, he might have been like, "Oh, what do I care about Superman?" This is what I'll say.
He complained about Superman, but he couldn't do anything about it.
Well, he might do about it. He could do lots of things, but he might just be like, "Let me tell you, the greatest story I ever read was about Sigmund Freud when he discovered cocaine." And he felt that this could be the cure for all of human ills because he took a snort of cocaine. He's like, I really don't care a crap about what my mother thought anymore.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It's funny because it's true. It's true. You can actually read him writing about cocaine, about that new wonder drug someone just discovered might solve all human psychological ills because he took some cocaine and he felt fantastic.
That Coca-Cola was good back in the day.
Yeah, well, but what it is that it's like anything. It's something that distracts you. And yes, alcohol does distract me. But you know what? Maybe you all should be grateful that I spend my time worrying about comic books, not building super weapons.
Why? That's what I tell my boyfriend all the time.
Why don't we want Charlie Esser in charge of the world? I mean, I think me and Lilith could get good executive positions in your administration.
Well,
your administration of evil.
obviously, if I ever did take over the world, you guys are definitely coming along for the ride. Don't worry, you're definitely cared for. But you know what?
He did once say he wanted to fight Putin, so let's not poke the bear here. He might just do it.
You know what the problem is I'm actually too smart to take over the world because I do work in administration. I know what a pain. Unlike Donald Trump, I can actually see how much of a pain taking something. Basically, Donald Trump is the supervillain who eventually gets the world and say, "Okay, now run it." Yeah, he's like, "Oh man,
it's like the South Park. It's like the South Park where he's like, you start thinking, "Oh man, I really don't want this."
Exactly. It's like there was so much paperwork involved in taking over the world. You know, I mean, honestly, this is why constitutional democracy eventually takes root everywhere, because nobody wants to be the absolute ruler and king of things, unless you're a real short-sighted guy. If you're a guy who's like, no, I'm just in it for money, booze, and sex, which, granted, Donald Trump might be the best guy for that job. Unfortunately, he didn't take over through supervillainy. He took over through a democratic process.
Which is how it always starts.
Well, yeah. Well, you know.
That's
right.
You
know what? Surprisingly enough, not as much as Mythos likes to tell you. Basically, Nazi Germany was basically a small plurality, not even a majority, in the Reichstag that just decided to give power to Hitler rather than actually having a actual conversation on the subject and three separate powers, which is why actually
it only makes common sense.
America's constitutional republic actually, because there was a lot of writing recently about the dysfunctionality of a presidential system, because in a parliamentary system, you know, everyone had to work together or the government shuts down. But what we're seeing right now is actually the strength of a presidential system, because even though you have a president, the judiciary and our parliamentary system, the Congress, are still actually technically independent. And their egos are like, you know what, Mr. President, we respect you. We're of the same party, but don't think you get to boss us around. Because we are still Congress and we are a separate but equal branch.
Although he sure is trying to undercut everybody.
Well, of course he is, because he's who he is.
That's right.
But, you know, if he was a smarter man, because he doesn't drink, if he was a smarter man, he might have invented a super weapon and taken over the world properly.
Well, you know, there's that conspiracy theory that his grandfather stole Tesla's time machine. That's always a fun conspiracy.
I don't think Tesla had a time machine.
It's a joke. Laugh. It's okay. Not all conspiracy theories have to be serious.
No, I know. I'm just saying that even as time is a dimension, aside from H.G. Wells, who quite frankly had it before you did, Einstein. So great for cribbing that note too, as you're stealing everybody's ideas. Einstein is the Thomas Edison of theoretical physics. I said it. Fight me, nerds.
Yeah, at Charlie Esser.
Einstein is
the girl Tyson's coming for you, sir.
Bazinga. I'm a fan of Thomas work. I think Thomas Edison, because I think that sometimes you need a guy to take all the other ideas, bring them together, and say, okay, here's how we take all your stupid ideas and make them good. Like Star-Lord in Infinity War. Say, let's do a plan that isn't your plan, that is actually my plan, that is actually good, and then we won't all lose. And although Star-Lord paid a heavy price for his plan, I think Star-Lord
was just stupid in this movie, remember?
No, Star-Lord's a brilliant genius. He's a freaking son of a celestial. I don't buy the Star-Lord is stupid idea. I buy that Star-Lord is...
He was getting Thanos angrier before they got that
stupid like a fox.
Oh, yeah, no, he did have a Martha moment. Although people make that point that, you know what?
What'd you say?
Yeah, it's a Martha moment. It is a Martha to a Thanos. But you know, it's a film with the Thanos, so you have to allow the Marthas. You know what I recently realized? You know that you know why did you say that name comes from? And I realized that was actually supposed to be an homage.
What?
That's from Princess Bride.
That's
when Miracle Max is in.
That's how bad the DC universe,
Dude, no, I secretly listening to Wade's World because we just had a Princess Bride moment.
Oh yeah.
But what I'm saying is, because I was watching Princess Bride last night, and when they go to Miracle Max, which is, honestly, until Miracle Max shows up on the scene, it's a much better movie after Miracle Max than before. I'm just gonna say it. It's a good movie before.
Another retro movie club review, Phil, so people can beat him up.
Okay.
But here's my point: is that when they're talking about Humperdinck and Miracle Max's wife comes out, and she says Humperdinck. He says, "Why did you say that name?" And it struck me like, oh my gosh, that's where that's from. That's why he has that. Why did you say that name? Because it's a reference to Princess Bride. Snyder was trying to be deep. Because that's what Snyder, he always tries
and fails
to go deep. Well, yeah.
Sucker Punch Man is just, I cannot get over that movie. Had potential, but it just,
Yeah, well, I really want to watch. I want to read Ready Player One. I want to.
There's more in the book. There's more in the book. Yeah.
They still sell books. Yeah, I should pick that up at some point.
You can even get it on your Kindle.
I don't have a Kindle anymore. My Kindle broke.
It wasn't under warranty?
No. I actually, I had a nice Kindle, and
there you go, Charlie Esser. The downside of alcohol.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it, Phil, instead of me having to admit it. But yes. Yeah. Everyone else's Kindle was fine, but my Kindle got broke. And
I'm going to say, I'm the only one here who can say it.
I'm too cheap to replace it. Because this is the thing when you're a parent.
Things are so expensive these days.
I buy other people things. I don't buy things for myself.
Father's Day is around the corner and they're only $79. Those kids better get out there and start selling newspapers or whatever you're doing.
I can't make someone buy me things. I can't.
You can leave Hanks and Guilt Trip. That's what parents do. I was going to say
Guilt Trip. Yeah.
No,
your kids are old enough where the Guilt Trip works. Come on.
Thank you so much for you boys.
You know what? No. First, I put my kids through enough as it is.
And your wife's not going to be paying for it. Come on.
We're waiting for one of us to get a full-time job. Okay, so right now we're still in that wonderful, glorious capitalistic paradise of your per diem and your temporary. So, yeah.
Oh, your 90 days isn't up yet?
I'm sorry?
Your 90 days isn't up at your job?
No. Oh, please. And after 90, it's another 90 after the 90. Because I'm hired in as a temp to perm.
Oh, okay.
And it was supposed to be temp to perm after 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, I said, "Oh, by the way, just that 6 weeks is up." And my boss said, "That wasn't a guarantee."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Oh, well, fuck me then." Oh. Sorry, Phil. You may want to write down what point in this conversation it was so that you can...
Good Lord.
Well, then fudge me, is what I said. Well, then fudge me kindly. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's gotten better since then, and not for nothing, I've had screw-ups at the job because it's a job and I'm a human being and you have screw-ups. And, but the thing is, when you're in that temporary spot, every screw up is like, it's like when you're at an actual job and you screw up and then you fix it, it's like, well, I fixed the screw up. But if you're actually in that temporary status, it's like every screw up is like, nope, you weren't perfect. Sorry, you weren't perfect. Only perfect people get to be employed here. And that's
you look around and go, I don't think that's true at all.
Well, no, clearly not, because they have actually told me, look, we've all made mistakes. It's like, yes, then why are you holding me to this standard? Why am I not permanent yet? Why do I have to start counting my 90 days again when you hire me? I wanted to have insurance by the time my son went in for his physical in August. That's not happening, I'm guessing. That's my point. That's the life of me. Okay. Have we talked about comic books or anything interesting?
Let's yes. Oh my God.
Yes. What's going on in the world of Archie, Lilith?
No, not Archie, because it was only the trade back for Archie Volume 5 that was out this week, and I already have all the Archie, so I don't need a trade.
Yeah.
But no, the book that I wanted to read, that I'm going to read when we're done, is actually the Snagglepuss Chronicles #5. Like, I heard nothing but good things about this, and I cannot wait to read it. I think it's the last one, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Can I just take a moment to talk about how DC's Hanna-Barbera properties are pretty much universally amazing?
Yeah, they are.
With the obvious exception of the Jetsons, that's the Hulk of the Hanna-Barbera.
They failed to realize, like, the Flintstones one was really good, so I was expecting Jetsons to be good, but they something got lost in translation. I don't think the people that they put it on had a genuine care
Exactly.
for the mythos.
Well, there you go. And that's, like I said, that's how I knew Jetsons was bad, when they said, they've created an origin of Rosie. And I was like, Rosie had an origin. Why do you have to give Rosie an origin? And immediately, as soon as and then they came with a really bad origin for Rosie that basically
hip and edgy. Yeah.
all life is based on Rosie, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip the Jetsons then. Thank you. Thanks for playing. We're gonna move on from there.
If you're a political person, I do feel like this is a book for you. It's very it's very political, but like in a satirical way, and it's just I like it for some reason. It just really works.
Everything I've read about Snagglepuss, every like because you get the previews and you get like the pages. Every page of Snagglepuss I've read, I've loved.
Wait for the training to get it. You will fall in love with it.
Honestly, I'm just hoping to give enough screen time or page time to Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy.
That's all he's looking for.
I don't know what Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy are doing. Because I know that Augie Doggy is like this young, like college kid, but I want his dad to actually be a jazz musician. I would love Doggy Daddy to be like this, but like a 50s jazz musician that's actually like putting his kid through college. So he's like, yeah, I'm totally in that life, but dude, I got a house and I gotta take care of you, and I got a whole life as a single parent, because of course there's no doggy mommy, sadly. We don't know
much like Disney characters.
If you want a good story,
you have a maternal figure, unless she's evil, nothing can go wrong.
Well, I don't know if that's 100% true, but we're gonna.
That's the Disney logic. That's why nobody has a mom.
Women are evil?
I think so. No, Brave had a mom. What's her name?
Well, I'm talking classic.
Oh, okay, classic.
Anything after 2000.
Classic. No one has a parent at all. Okay. Oh. So that is the millennial moment there. The 2000s. Anything before 2000 was a classic. It's like there was, yeah. Okay.
I'm talking from 89 to 2003. That is classic Disney, baby.
Yeah.
Classic Disney.
Okay. Yeah, because what I was gonna say is like, no one had a parent. Cinderella, no father, no mother except for a stepmother. Snow White, no parent at all. Honestly, we're not even sure if the queen is actually even her stepmother. We just know she's there. She's in charge of stuff. We have no idea who the parent is. Fun fact, that actually derives from the fact that many men went to war in the Crusades and never came back. And that's why there are so many orphan children with stepmothers, because there's a kid and someone's got to raise that damn kid.
Or you just let them run around as roves of orphans and destroy the country.
And that's how we get Robin Hoods. You want a force full of Robin Hoods? Lilith?
Yes, I do.
So what happened on Arrow this week? Just to give you that tie back, because I know Phil wanted to talk about Arrow because General Hill was on it, and I forgot to watch it. So,
Lilith, did you read the Cliff Notes on Arrow?
I did. I always do. It keeps me up to date, blow by blow. I'm disappointed that it was Human Target. Spoilers.
Yeah, Oliver Queen was on trial for being the Green Arrow. They even pressured some of his people. They pressured Wild Dog into saying, yeah, he's the Green Arrow because they had his daughter.
So did he get the chair, or is he just left in prison?
He's free to go. He's free to go.
He committed It's
more
in the
than that,
first
Charlie.
season.
You don't even know. It's countless.
That's what
Countless scores.
that's what Renee said. They were like, "How many?" He's like, "I don't know."
Is
But-
murder like not a crime in the DC universe? Is that like?
well,
Why do we make a law against murder? Someone should make a law
Well-
against murder in this world.
Charlie, they couldn't prove he was the Green Arrow because supposedly the Green Arrow come dropping down through the skylight because everything in Star City has a skylight. And it was supposedly Tommy Merlin, his old friend who died in season 1, but it turned out to be the Human Target in disguise.
So wait, that actually worked in a realistic
Well,
storyline.
and then at the
Well,
end,
here's this other
There's
person
nothing
in the
realistic
costume.
about
Well,
Arrow
I'm not the man in the
anymore.
costume.
then at the end too, Human Target again takes the place. Well, he takes the place of the judge at that point. So he's like, "You're free to go."
That's not legal.
It's almost as bad as what Ralph did.
It's DC
With the
Comics.
Tinker. It's literally what Ralph did with the Tinker. Oh
It's-
my God! Can Arrow not even get its own damn
You know
material?
All I'm gonna say is JFK should have never pretended to be Superman for that one issue because DC is just taking advantage of the idea. It was fun when JFK did that, and JFK pretended to be Clark Kent so that Clark Kent and or maybe he pretended to be Superman. I forget exactly who was who, but that's where it first shows up: is Clark Kent and Superman and JFK
Well, yeah,
working
JFK.
together.
JFK took Clark dressed as Clark Kent because he doesn't have he didn't have superpowers. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know JFK.
His superpower was charisma, actually.
Charlie's in deep thought. I paused him. He was about to say another naughty word.
Just a mess. This podcast is a mess. So while he's not here, let's talk about Action Comics. Did you read that?
Yes, yeah, because the old team needed space after since Bendis horned his way in. Yeah,
it has to deal with Lex Luthor, so I actually love it.
yeah. What did you think about that time travel story?
I liked it. I was surprised. And Dan Jurgens, you will be missed. I've been reading a lot of Dan Jurgens, actually. I'm up to Death of Superman because I'm just as I'm preparing for my special project, I'm reflecting on Superman and his history.
And also our project with the Man of Steel miniseries, both of them.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. That's going to be a very interesting snapshot.
So are we going to do that night of, or?
Yeah, we can do night of, no problem.
Okay.
Every Wednesday for 6 weeks.
That's right.
I can swing that.
We're gonna issue to issue. We're gonna if you haven't heard, we're gonna compare the original Man of Steel miniseries by John Byrne to the Bendis miniseries. So 1 and 1, 2 and 2. So who will win, John Byrne?
I'm not gonna put Bendis out immediately. I'm really not. I think if you write Superman deep down somewhere, you have to be a fan of Superman.
Yeah, but like that DC Nation Zero, aren't you scared? Because it's like, where's Lois at?
I mean, Lois has had her time, and we can take a moment away from Lois. I'm the biggest proponent of they really do have to understand Lois to understand Clark. Like I'm a big proponent of that. She is. They're two sides of the same coin. You see that a lot throughout the stories, especially stuff like Last Son and stuff like that. But we can take a moment and let him stretch his legs. Not everything has to be about that.
I know. It's just that I know you want something new and fresh, but it seems like every time Bendis jumps on something, he has to like rock the boat and shake up the status quo.
See, I don't think he's gonna shake up the status quo.
Hello.
He's on his phone.
Hey,
I was gonna say, did you plug in?
am I in or because I'm doing this on the phone right now, so I have no idea. Can you see me? Oh, there I am. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. So yeah, sorry about all that.
That's all right.
My computer decided to update for some reasons.
We were just talking about the Action Comics special and Superman and Bendis
and Phil's being very pessimistic about the Bendis thing, and everybody has their take on Superman, and I'm actually going to give the man the miniseries.
He always has to rock the boat. That's like I said. Like for some reason, Lois is fired and nowhere to be seen in this. In DC Nation Zero. It's like, why is he rocking the boat? Like the Avengers, he had to break down the Avengers and bring in Spider-Man and Wolverine and Luke Cage. Daredevil, he had to reveal Matt Murdock's identity to the whole world. He's always gonna.
I actually like that one though.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, I did. I have to admit, I did like his Daredevil stuff. But
yeah, his Daredevil
well, so Yeah, you rock the boat, Phil, because what else are you going to do?
Yeah, in this time, in this
like,
age especially, you literally have to rock the boat.
Yeah, but I mean that Daredevil stuff. He started that in like 2003 or something.
That's still this day and age, Phil.
For you, that's classic to Lilith.
Damn straight.
As I'm sorry, the last 20 years has been recent. Okay, so understand that anything 1998 to 2018 is within this time period. It's called modern history.
I know. But no, we were talking about the Action Comics special that, you know, the old team had to put out so the old team could basically wrap stuff up since Bendis is jumping on. I don't know why they because of numbering, I guess, but why they had to end it. You know, because since Man of Steel doesn't start till May 30th.
So
give you a palate cleanser in time, son.
Yeah, well, they have to tie. You know, every writer wants to tie up their own story. So if they've got like, okay, guys, all those hints we dropped when we thought we were going to write this book forever, we should probably, if we really want to deal with those hints, we should deal with them now. You know, It's like if someone told Bendis, okay, you're off the Avengers, he's like, oh, I got to do that Secret Invasion I've been planning right now. So it's going to be a one issue off, but I have to do it. So,
but yeah. This was the only DC book I got this week with the digital codes. I guess I thought I read somewhere they're just going to drop codes wherever they feel like it for like specials or.
But like I was saying, the thing with the digital codes is it should be that extra content, not that, oh, I guess we have to. When DC, here's my advice to you, don't follow Marvel. If Marvel does something, don't say, well, I guess we have to because that's not what everyone wants. Do your own thing.
Terrific.
Have faith in your own thing. Make.
Oh no! Technology is this man's enemy.
So DC Nation Zero, what did you?
Like I said, I'm like, with the Superman Bendis story, it's like, where's Lois? Why are they gonna mess with that? We just got Lois back.
I like the Joker story the best, just to be honest.
The Joker story was good. It's like,
and I haven't liked the Joker story in a long time.
It's like that preview of the wedding stuff.
Yeah.
What about the Justice League stuff? Did you like that?
Justice League is dead to me in the comics and in movies. So, come on, CW, give me my Justice League.
Like we have to have these multiple teams with like bad guys on them, and
I think the Killer Frost thing was a mistake. And honestly, shout out to DC Superhero Girls making Killer Frost at the high school. I don't like either. They don't even call her Killer Frost. I think they just call her Frost.
Oh.
I don't like that character personally.
Are people actually supposed to be officially supervillains at DC Superhero Girl High?
No, because Harley and
Harley.
Ivy.
No.
They're just
so why do you have actual villains at a high school?
They're not villains yet. Maybe the girls ostracize them and they become villains. Maybe the mean girls.
Okay, so
they're Lex Luthor with hair.
Because they're popular characters, okay? It's a cash grab gravy train of toys. That's what DC Superhero Girls is for. But some of the content is pretty good. Like their books are really good, and then whenever they throw out a comic book issue is really good, which they do have for Free Comic Book Day today.
For the record, I have no problem with the villains being in there. It's like I actually really kind of like Quentin Quire going to Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. The idea that hey, not all of us are going to be heroes. That actually isn't a bad idea. I guess my only question there would be, why is Harley Quinn there if her only power is crazy? I'm just saying logically, it's like, if you're a Batman villain and your only power is, I have a costume.
And a mallet.
You don't actually have a power. You can go to regular high school. Are they saying superheroism and supervillainy is a lifestyle choice, and this is just where we sequester all the people who've made the lifestyle choice to be superheroes? And there are people with powers at regular high school, but they're just going to high school because they don't want to be super. Is that why Carrie's at her high school? Because she didn't want to take advantage of her superpower. She says, no, I'm just going to regular high school. Prom's gonna be crazy at DC Supergirl High. That's all I gotta
they've
say.
already had it. I know the toy line came out. I don't know if the actual episodes ever came out, but the Galactic Ball, which is their prom, they had one. Okay. They have Beast Boy and Cyborg for some reason is in there as the boy characters. I'm not all.
Are there like two boys at this school? Those boys are really popular. That's all I gotta say. Having gone to an all-boy high school, I know that any female who walked in there was immediately the greatest female that ever walked the earth. So I can imagine Beast Boy and Cyborg being the only two boys at Superhero Girl High being really popular.
They just want to hold.
To the point that they would probably be a little annoyed by it.
Not Beast Boy.
Not Beast Boy. Beast Boy. Wow, that is sad. That even of the two boys in existence, that it's like Tandy on Last Man on Earth.
Although he's not really, I don't get that show. I tried. It's not my cup.
Really? Oh, I love it because you know what? It's like the worst people possible being the last people on Earth. And I love the fact that it's like, hey, randomly selecting people. Oh, most people are actually awful. Well, guess what? If you randomly select people, most of the people if most people are awful, most of the people who are going to be the last people on Earth are going to be awful. And they are all awful.
All right, let's get back.
Like, even when they have a moment of niceness, just being the last people on Earth makes them awful.
How'd you feel about Nightwing, speaking of awful, this week?
Did you read it?
I did. I tried. I've been trying.
You didn't get those vibes when he's talking to Barbara about, like the Oracle vibes?
It's too little too late. Like, it's like ever since Celie left, I've just been offended by this book. I'm sorry.
This is the first issue of Percy's run. Give him a chance. You liked him on Green Arrow for the most part.
I know. And I'm bitter that he's gone, probably. That's probably just bitterness talking. Or,
some kind of
organic apple juice that tastes like crap. I don't know.
Some kind of villain who has they haven't revealed yet, but you can use technology against people, like blow up cell phones and.
Anyway, like I don't know. I'm gonna give him a chance, but this first issue was nothing that I was impressed with.
Technology is evil. It's like the anti-esser.
I just want to get back to if something is missing with the Nightwing character for me, like I don't feel the pathos anymore.
Celie, you want to
honestly, he understood that character and it came across. So I guess we can give Ben a chance to get his footing. I mean, he's very similar to Green Arrow. I mean, kind of, sort of. So he should be able to be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. And did anybody read Batman 46? What part 2 of what people are calling Bat Point?
Oh
no one cares about Batman anymore.
Well, I think no one cares about Bat Point. It's like, haven't we already done this
several times?
And why is anyone saying that this would be a good idea?
Because it's Booster Gold.
No. Okay, first off, if the story starts off, hey, what if Booster Gold had an idea? Immediately you have to say, well, it's going to be a bad idea, right? So, well, yes, of course it's a bad idea. Booster Gold came up with it. But at a certain point when you're running into that wall, as much fun as running into that wall might be, or watching someone run into that wall might be, you got to ask yourself, is this really a wall that we should be happy that they're running into?
I will say that title needed more fun, and what better way to interject fun than Booster Gold?
Except they made it like everybody's like mentally ill and
it's Batman. And of course everybody's mentally ill. Charlie, come on.
I know, but a Catwoman can't talk anymore now. She just meows at people.
She was like tricked.
Okay, cocaine is a hell of a drug. We've already discussed this, okay? Clearly that's what's going on in the writing of the story.
It's like, Bruce takes her to the mansion to try to get Bruce back wherever, but it's like between crazy Catwoman, Dick Grayson, Batman shows up again, and the Waynes end up getting like killed again. Spoilers.
Why is Booster Gold? Okay, I mean, I get that. Oh, Skeets has been destroyed. Okay.
Well, he seems kind of nuts in this issue too, because I think it says it's the first page. It says like 1 year later. So I'm assuming this crap's been going on for technically a year now, I guess.
Yeah, well, I get the idea that Booster Gold, like so many people, is bad at his job.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you gonna do?
And they wanted to dress Catwoman in the Michelle Pfeiffer costume. That's it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
fair enough. And I'm not saying the costume isn't fantastic. There's lots of ways to get Michelle Pfeiffer into that Catwoman costume. That's all I'm saying.
not anymore. She's on the Marvel side, so.
Janet Van Dyne.
Which I thought was an excellent choice, actually. I might actually go see that movie.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm a huge Evangeline Lilly fan, so.
It's going to be a good. You know what? Here's what I'm going to tell you, Lilith.
They gave her a better haircut this time.
You wouldn't have minded Infinity War had you saw it. You don't have to see it. I'm not going to say you have to see it. I'm going to say you wouldn't have minded it. I think you would have thought it was a very fun.
There's no Hawkeye, so I don't care. Hawkeye's the only person I care about.
Okay, even without Hawkeye, it's actually still nice. I'm just saying.
He's the only person I care about, so no.
Then you know what, Lilith? You're going to love Ant-Man and Wasp because Hawkeye is going to be all over it.
That's what Charlie's theory.
You mark my words. That is the secret Hawkeye film, is Ant-Man and Wasp.
I would have no problem with that. Just like, Cap 2 was a secret Black Widow movie. I have no problem with
exactly, that. And that is what we're going to be seeing there. That's my prediction.
Wasp, yeah.
Yeah, no, and then we're going to have a great roundtable with you there for Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh, we're doing movie clubs from now on, buddy. We're trying to get the band back together from Infinity War, man.
No, yeah, she missed that, but it's going to be fun.
Yes. She listened.
But I am telling you, Love, you would not mind Infinity War if you catch it at some point.
Black Panther.
It does have Black Panther in it.
I'll wait for Black Panther too.
I'm trying to think who else.
There's nothing
you see,
you're gonna watch the movie, okay? There's literally nothing. Short of giving me $1 million, there's nothing you can do.
Okay, well, I'm not going to give you $1 million to go see a film.
Free alcohol with every viewing.
You'll enjoy.
Nope.
No, you wouldn't.
Actually, you know what? If you want to go to one of those AMCs where they give you the booze, I will happily take you and pay for your bar tab if you want to do it. So I'll give you that.
Don't have that kind of money, yes, sir.
Especially not at movie bar prices.
Unless you're secretly a Disney executive, you don't have that kind of money.
Haven't checked my lotto numbers for tonight yet, so who knows?
Fingers crossed. Anyway, you want to talk? Did you read Green Arrow? I thought that was the best DC book this week that I read.
Oh, yes, I did read Green Arrow. Yeah, that was good.
Really good. Like, this is like back to like I was shocked because I haven't really enjoyed what the new people have been doing, but this is a good start. I can see the TV show trying to steal this and butcher it.
Oh. Shots fired.
The art was really spectacular too. I was just like, oh, this is a really good issue. A lot of people were kind of down on it, but I guess because I've had a break, I came back and I was like, oh yeah.
Well, it's like the second part. Did you like the first part of it as much?
No, I did not like the first part.
Oh, so you thought they brought it home in the second part?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was good.
So yeah, my stuff is dwindling, man, on the DC side.
I'm looking at my list for my pull list. I think they're getting a little smaller.
I think I will put Green Arrow back on temporarily because I was just down to like Green Arrow, Aquaman, and like a couple of other randoms.
Well, a lot of their twice a month stuff's going to once a month.
Yeah,
okay.
I knew they couldn't keep that. I knew they couldn't keep that volume. It was ridiculous to think that they could. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, who's
cash grab, but
who's twice a month now? Like Batman, all the Batman books, Superman.
And Batman doesn't need to be because I feel like that storytelling quality has definitely gone down with them trying to force that.
And it's like with Detective and Batman, then it's like when they're both.
You don't really, isn't that the point of having like two books? You don't need to do it twice a month. I thought that was the theory behind it.
Yeah, but are they doing that in the Superman stuff now? Because it's like, that this way you get a Batman story and a Superman story every week.
You don't need it every week. Is my point. It doesn't make it special anymore. Like it's all those storylines are watered down and stretched out. They should probably rethink a strategy. Just saying.
I know their strategy.
Did you pick up Harley Quinn? Harley Loves Joker #1? Because I didn't. Okay, good.
Are they still shipping Harley and Joker?
Well, it's the classic cartoon version, is my understanding.
Is that
Paul Dini? Is that the one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that one of the
Paul Dini was the guy who created that, but
No. He's writing this one. Yeah, so it is the classic cartoon version.
But is it one
is
of
what people want, not that new Margot.
It was still an abusive relationship even then.
Oh, even then, but at least it was a little more palatable.
Is it one of those wedding specials? Because I know they got a bunch of those coming out. I thought there was a Harley and Joker one.
I don't think that's this one. It's a flashback with a backup.
So I was gonna say I think I ordered most of those, but I don't know if I don't know if I got the Harley one or not.
I couldn't remember when I was putting it on the list if it was Paul Dini or not. I might go back and read this one.
That's an interesting point because it actually makes me wonder if more than a prequel to the 66 Batman verse that Gotham is, makes me wonder if it's maybe more in line as a prequel to the Dini verse of Batman. Because the Dini verse, of course, pulls much from that 66 Batman in its caricatures, but at the same time does have that same dark and painful feel.
Well, I think they always want to be like, they want tastes of everything. They're like, you could see animated series in this, Batman 66.
It's very eclectic and anachronistic, which drives me insane at times, but other times I think it's phenomenal. But I haven't felt that phenomenal feeling in a long time for Gotham. Maybe I'll change my mind when I binge watch the rest of this season.
Yeah, watch this last episode. This last episode was pretty good. Well, what I'll say about Gotham is that it always puts a smile on my face, even if it's not necessarily the best episode. It's like 70s Marvel movies, They're not always the best, but you know what? It's like, I see what you did there. I appreciate your effort.
All right, we're done the Red Brown. Are we done?
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I'm surprised we're still here, quite frankly.
Oh, well, Marvel book? Best Marvel book? I'll let you guys get a word in edgewise.
I only would run one, so I only have one vote.
I mean, Avengers was pretty decent.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Lilith, you said you liked Gambit and Rogue?
Yeah, that was my definitely Marvel pick of the week for sure.
Hunt for Wolverine, Weapon Lost came out. Daredevil's hunting down Wolverine. Oh, wow. Daredevil and Misty Knight.
Oh,
reasons?
They're really pushing that
I don't know. For some reason, all of a sudden, they're like, at least for this series, they're pushing like Daredevil has like some kind of detective skills. I don't know.
Well, entirely. Well, I'm not saying Daredevil doesn't have detective skills. I mean, I'm sure, why not? He's a relatively intelligent person. He has extra sensors. It doesn't make not sense. I'm just saying, why is he hunting Wolverine? Well, why is the reason to find Wolverine?
Well, there's like a bunch of different miniseries too, because like Kitty Pryde went to a bunch of people to help find Wolverine. So I know she went to Daredevil. He's like the big one in this series, and then the Adamantium Agenda, which is like that new Avengers team. It's like Iron Man, Spider-Man. I think Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are in that one. Maybe comes out this week. Then there's one in Madripoor with some X-Men, I think. So it's like it's because they wanted a bunch of miniseries, Charlie. That's all.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, like. Shouldn't someone say, "Oh, I heard Logan's not dead again"? It's like, oh, okay.
Just try to go figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they even know he's alive. All they know is like his body's missing.
Oh, yeah.
Venomized was out. Venomized #5. You guys should probably pick that up. That's a fun book.
What is it?
Venomized.
What? Demise?
Venomized.
Venomized.
Yeah.
Oh.
#5. Yeah. It was out this week.
I'm sure Tristan Esther will pick it up at some point.
Yeah. If Tristan Esther had a job, he could go get his own comic book.
It sounds like he needs to get one.
Yeah. No, if he wants to get comic books, he better get a job. That's all I'm going to say.
Especially these prices.
Yeah, it's not a young man's game anymore, comic bookery.
It hasn't been for quite a long time.
Well,
I haven't been a young man for quite a long time, so I wouldn't know.
I know we were talking about reviewing it. Did you read Your Deadpool yet?
I did.
What did you think? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they're really, really, really pushing out the Deadpool stuff, and not all. Well, you know, cream rises to the top, and poop gets flushed down the toilet. That's all I'll say.
So is this like a choose your own adventure Deadpool?
Kind of, sort of. It's like, you know, that's like you can use dice, and it's like if you make this choice, go to panel whatever. And
wait, I have to like buy an extra item to do this.
Oh no, they have a page where you can cut out your own and make your own die.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to destroy my comic book too.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, that's where I'm at on that conversation. Yeah. Die. Okay. Yeah. Now, but let me ask you this, because you know they did the Choose Your Own Adventure Squirrel Girl, and no matter what choices you made, you always wound up at the last page. Do you wind up at the last page no matter what choice you make in this book?
I didn't try it out yet, but it's probably one of those things.
Yeah. See, you could actually die in old Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, I know. Or
This
you know,
is what
classic
made them
Oregon
cool
Trail. You have
to
died
make
of
the wrong
dysentery.
choice. And it's like, and you die. And you're like, whoa, this was a kid's book, right? No, I got eaten by the space monster. You know, we all have. I'm sure at one point. George was his name. You remember the one he ate driftwood?
The 70s.
And you wind up inside. Actually, you don't technically die. You just wind up inside the belly of the space monster who eats driftwood.
Oh, that reminds me. Shout out to American Dad for their Oregon Trail episode they just did this past week. I love American Dad.
You're still watching that?
Okay,
it's amazing on TBS.
Somebody's on cocaine, bringing it back around.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Was it in any way better than the already phenomenal Teen Titans Go Oregon Trail episode? That was good.
Teen Titans Go did it first.
Teen Titans Go did it.
So Seth MacFarlane probably did it better.
Is Seth MacFarlane even on American Dad anymore?
Yeah, he is. Of course he is.
I mean, I know he acts on it, but does he have?
No, he still writes and everything. He loves that show because it's a short order. It's not like Family Guy where he has to drag it out. They only make like 13 episodes a year. It's his favorite show, and it shows now. Family Guy is a poor parody of itself now.
Wait, I'm sorry. What show?
Family Guy is poop. American Dad is good. You should.
American Dad. Oh, American Dad's still on
TBS. It's fantastic, and their Christmas episodes are the freaking best.
Oh, I liked American Dad. I thought that ended like years ago.
No, TBS picked it up. And it's like what Comedy Central did for Futurama. They made it
so
better.
it's like Conan O'Brien. It actually does still exist, even though you don't know it exists anymore. So okay.
There's plenty of people that knows it exists, and you better get into it if you're a Seth MacFarlane fan and you're tired of Family Guy. I'm telling you.
I'll have to see if it's on DirecTV now.
It should be. Well, do you get TBS?
Yeah.
I have to. Well, no.
DirecTV
now is different than DirecTV because DirecTV now is just stations. They realize this. That's why I don't have certain stations. It's only if that station offers a streaming.
Oh, TBS
has streaming content. Yeah.
Yep,
So yeah,
TBS
I'm sure
does.
TBS is. Turner was always
ahead of the curve. Yeah, definitely.
That's why he is a billionaire. He actually owns.
Was it the first Superstation or was it WGN?
Doesn't Turner own WGN too? WGN was the first Superstation.
Okay, no, they're two separate entities, definitely. Or maybe it isn't now, but
yeah. I worry about WGN because I do think that they don't.
Well, the guy that runs it.
Oh, okay. I know because WGN was out of Chicago, and they were the first guys that realized what's called the MeTV protocol.
Yep.
I call it, which is that if you open a station in the market, they have to carry you. But that is where DirecTV now and the cable cutting, because they're not bound by the same rules. So because it's over the internet, it does not have to have broadcast. That's why I don't get MeTV on my DirecTV now. I don't get a lot of channels on DirecTV now, but I do get several centralized channels that have a streaming aspect to that. And the weirdest thing about DirecTV now is I can get on demand on my phone, but not on the TV. But I think that's Amazon being a jerk.
Probably.
I should have gone with the Google stick, but Amazon was cheaper. And I got locked in.
Like you can find a Chrome for $35. You honestly can, which I think $35.
But I'm at the AT&T store at that moment.
Impulse.
And they got
they
got instructions to push the Amazon.
Impulse.
And that literally it was. I mean, honestly, it's good. And honestly, like I said, I can watch it all on my phone. My phone is great. But it's just for one on the big TV. It's harder. It's harder on the big TV.
Anyway, Phil, about those shameless plugs.
Anyway, she said, closing it down.
Yeah, it's gone on way too long as it is, Phil.
Share your thoughts.
Phil.
Oh yeah, I dragged it out. I'm sorry, Charlie. If anyone would like to share your thoughts, TV, movies, comic books, what do you want to see us do live reviews about? Because we're gonna have a movie club with all our friends. You probably saw them on one of our roundtables last week. Email us your thoughts, capesandlunatics at gmail.com, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, at capeslunatics on Twitter. And the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Be like Tristan Esser and send us a message.
And Philip, just so I can say, yes, it is your fault. You're the boss of us. You're the boss of us.
You're the executive producer, Gelman. Come on.
Me and Lilith, we can't be. We're the talent. We're just gonna go off wherever we can. You're the one who is the responsible adult in the room. Sorry, Philip, you did this because you said it wouldn't be fun if I did a podcast with all my friends. Guess what, Philip? You're doing a podcast with all your friends, and you're in charge.
You two are forces of nature. It's like, hey, why didn't you stop the tornado?
Well, you know what, Philip? You're the one that created this Sharknado. You're the one that has to handle it. I'm just saying,
this iron-willed Lilith Hellfire and this apple juice-fueled Charlie Esser. How do I stop this?
You gotta be the Gelman, Reagan, Regis every now and then.
I was gonna say my Regis and Kathy Lee over here.
Exactly.
And
not for nothing.
We like each other.
I am no less.
Millennials might not know those names, but yeah.
No, I am no less a force of nature than a Regis Tobin. If you put on your at the moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mandela.
He and Kathy Lee are both still alive. They're both alive and well and doing their own things.
She drinks like Charlie Esser.
She's still on
she's not Good Morning America. Regis is in semi-retirement at this point,
Bring back Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Regis.
Well, to be fair, the man is like Stan Lee.
All right. I'm controlling you two. We're done.
Thank you, Philip. Let me give my notes if anyone would like to reach out to me.
Yes.
Talk about how bad Philip is at his job. You can write me an old-fashioned email way at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog. How many words is that? That's right. It's all one word at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on Twitter. Say live tweet Angel Shield because I stayed up all night to do so at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle for the quality.
All right. And make it quick, Lilith Hellfire. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. For everything else, at Adventures in FG. That's Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram at Adventures in FG. If you nerds really want to fight me, and I'm going to be live tweeting the finales of all the Arrowverse shows that are left. So, at Lilith Hellfire. If y'all want to live tweet with me, I'm snarky.
Even Arrow?
Even Arrow. I need to see if it's a Velocity Babies or not.
Oh, Lord. All right. We're out of here. I'm taking charge. Don't worry. I will crack the whip more next week. But for another week, we have been the Capes.
Ampersand!
Lunatics!
Yay! All Lilith, are we going to do an all DC episode next episode? It's episode 52 next week.
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
Poor Charlie. But you know what? To be fair, we can talk about Superman 3.
Oh, I was just gonna say it. And let me.
We should add that to our live commentary list.
Yeah.
Gus
Let
Corman
everybody beat up on Charlie.
would save the DC EU. Introduce that into Justice League 2. Gus
Who do we
Corman.
decide? Mick Foley. Yeah.
People, your summer's gonna be full of movies.
Oh, quick question: The Rock, Mick Foley, or Lou Ferrigno? Who should play the champion?
Write in and let us know next week.